not destined to win, who chances are slim and judge before they even begin. I just hope my messages demonstrate what you can accomplish if you come from within, from vicinity polluted with heavy misery, less victories, devious and evil activity, followed up by non-existent stability. Well, making it past 21 is accomplishing history. My upbringing was ruled by tons of negative imagery, but I still didn't let it stop me from seizing inner serenity. I'm a devoted, humble threat that's highly cerebral, that's striving to just behave from hateful to peaceful. My intentions is mainly advocating for equal, with written commitments that are in favor of suppressing the evil. What I'm encouraging is verbally lethal. These announcements are not here to mislead you. Just look at me as a passionate, gifted individual with plans of building a platform to unite his people.
Wow. Backstory. What were you thinking?
Always a positive message, but like showing people those last few sentences, just showing that what I want to do in a whole concise way. Like I want to build a platform for people, my friends, family, and others to expose their gifts and talents, all in a positive way, not a negative way, not to cause chaos and harm to the world, but all in a positive light, to impact others and generations to come.
Wow. That brings me to a piece I'd like to share too.
Come on,
motivation. Now this is not a piece I wrote, but it's a piece I admire. Actually, it's written by George Clinton and James Allen. I know you don't know who George Clinton is, but that's like Parliament Funkadelic. You ever heard of him?
I heard of him, but I haven't.
Yeah. You got it.
Yes.
So this is a great piece. I love this piece as well. So it's simply entitled "Good Thoughts, Bad Thoughts," and you can respond, after if you like. Travel like a king. Listen to the inner voice. A hidden wisdom is at work for you. Conquering the stumbling blocks come easier when the conqueror is in tune with the infinite. Every ending is a new beginning. Life is an endless unfoldment. Change your mind and you change your relation to time. You can find the answer. The solution lies within the problem. The answer is in every question. An attitude is all you need to rise and walk away. Your life is yours. It fits you like your skin. The oak sleeps in the acorn. The giant Aquarius sleeps in his tiny seed. The bird waits in the egg. God waits for his unfolding in man. You gravitate to that which you secretly love most. The exact reproduction of your own thoughts. There is no chance, coincidence, or accident in a world ruled by law and divine order. You rise as high as your dominant aspiration. You descend to the level of your lowest concept of yourself. The infinite intelligence within you knows the answer. It's nature to respond to your thoughts. Be careful of the thought seeds you plant in the garden of your mind, for seeds grow after their kind. Every thought felt as true or allowed to be accepted as true by your conscious mind take root in your subconscious, and sooner or later blossoms and bears, and sooner or later into an act and bears its own fruit. Good thoughts bring forth good thoughts. Bad thoughts will rot your flesh. Think right and you can fly. The kingdom of heaven is within. Good thoughts, bad thoughts. Yeah.
What made you admire that piece?
I just love what it says because it's inspirational, motivational, and educational. And the thoughts are really thoughts I think that most of us don't think about in that way. We may know it, but we don't always know it on the conscious level.
And I feel like my friend told me this earlier. Like we have all that we possess. It just giving that
all
right
that
time.
You need when you got here.
Yeah, we already have it all, and just giving that right time, moment, and opportunity for us to give it out.
Yeah. And so that's I just love that piece because it is motivation, and I love motivational and inspirational pieces as well. Of course, I write all kind of stuff myself. Yeah. I was looking for another piece I want to share, but I'll get to it in a minute. Come on with me. What you got? What you got for me?
Got this other piece that's called "Make Change."
Man, you've been very prolific, man. You've been rolling up in here, boy. Go on, youngin. I love to see young people who have that kind of talent and gift and focus.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Another political piece or what's going on in the world, but I feel like it's necessary. I said, let me do this one. I'd rather have this one. Message for generations to come.
Okay.
Grit came from experiencing hard times. Youngins outside in the corner before the sunrise. Kids involved in the streets which resulted in lost lives. I shed tears too if I lost mine. You could see the struggle and pain in their eyes. Getting it from the corner was the only way they survived. Not enough expressing positivity to see them thrive. All they see is dark days filled with rain, which caused them to inflict pain. Some teens' homes is war zones. The streets don't show love, so they heart they keep closed. The pistol they keep close for whatever that unfolds. This environment has to change, we have to become bold. The code is to keep the street life untold. It was nothing but a lot of liquor poured and blood spilled along these back streets. We went from having road games to sliding with demons up in that backseat. Roads when they only breed drug traffickers and athletes. I'm here to give hope to every inner city youth that's fighting a rap sheet. Have you ever had cops pull you over? Homies pass, got calls for money, and grad rehearsal all happened in the same week while trying to make some extra ends? Just a few years ago, my life was all about living it above the rim. Night sessions in the gym, way before the pen. Back when we was out, Florida was getting thin. Suffering just to get a win. Me and Tay scraped up all we had for that 5 for 10. If this was 4 years ago, and you told me I'd be gracing stages and touching lives, I wouldn't even be believing you. Cause I'm stationed with a good die young, and aspirations get shattered before reaching 22. Got a couple of good homies locked, and I lost a few. Hard to tell a young with potential to stay focused when death, drugs, and violence is what he's accustomed to. I'm doing 80 on the interstate going after my dreams. Death in the family struck early, which caused me to be a man before I even hit the age of a teen. I may have rose above my past, but as you can see, it's still hard for me to erase what I've seen. My message is to share my story with the world and build a platform to constructively empower my team. This is not for fame, credit, or figures. I'm here to lead my brothers and sisters towards something bigger. Say your bright ideas, I'm more concerned with how it's going to be delivered. I spit with heavy conviction, because new generation world leaders is what I'm hoping to trigger. I'm a seasoned beginner, witty contender, 100%er, the beat of the people / community member that strive for social change while giving back to inner cities, no matter the background, origin, or gender.
Wow. What's the story, man? Why you write that piece, Chris?
People that come after me, like some from Leave Behind and showing somebody, I'm only young, but I'm a man among my years, above my years, beyond my years, and just leaving something behind for them. And you get positive example, like you can do the same thing, you can be in these same shoes, but it's like, all right, what are you doing for others? How are you trying to impact others? And this is my way of avenue or channel to impact or reach them.
And everything ain't about you.
It's not about me.
Yes.
Yes,
Wow. Pull your pants up. I'm real, man. Pull your pants up. Sag and Becknoot. The sagging look is a low down dirty mess. Brothers who sag might as well wear a dress. With purpose and pride, I'm putting you on blast for dropping your pants and sagging below half mast. And I'm not saying that no belt and sagging is a crime, but I don't want to see the crack of your behind. Sagging is a social shame and public sin, will never help young brothers grow from boys to men. As a subculture of self-destruction misunderstood, it came from the prisons to the streets of the hood. Sagging as a foolish fad has gotten on a hand, but it's merely fashion to those who don't understand. When you decide to go partially butt nude, it's not only wrong, but downright rude. So sagging as a social shame and public sin will never help young brothers grow from boys to men. Pull your pants up.
So it's like a meaning behind, like we always say, but put it in a poetic, there's a meaning behind more than just that in the past. You know what I mean? How long? I always wanted to ask like other writers, like how long does it take you to write your poems?
Depends on what it is.
Depends on what it is.
Yeah, it depends on what it is. I'm the kind of writer that I do a lot of reading and a lot of research, so it depends. This didn't take long at all.
Yeah.
I just observing. I'm very observant.
Yeah.
And I observe. Yeah, I observe everything, And one day I was saying, brother had a sandwich in one hand and a phone in the other. He going across the street and the pants fall down. He got the phone trying to pull up his pants and trying to bite the sandwich. I'm like, what kind of mess is this? I'm like, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And he's like sagging low. I'm like, man, what is?
And they do it in confidence. Like
yes.
it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, like it's the right thing to do.
It's
The right thing to do is be watch where you're going in the middle of the street. Somebody been hit you. And that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, what is it?
No, you're right.
I was like, I don't understand this, man.
I get it all the time. Like, even from my family to this day,
Really?
just make sure you don't sag your pants. But I don't carry myself that way. But I just
Oh, okay.
know.
But you see it though,
Yeah,
so you know what
all
I'm
the time.
talking about.
Yes, sir. Just,
Yeah.
But we need pieces like that, more of that, you know what I mean, to talk about it and highlight it that it's not acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
We're not for it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But where do you think it comes from? When you see
It's
that?
you know what I mean? Everybody
It's part of
wants
the
to
culture.
follow. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? When you see it and it's cool, it's other people are doing it, somebody getting
It's a
liked
thing.
and attention from it, why not do it? That's what
Yeah.
we all doing. Like people, like we talk about cursing, it's like that's what's pushing the needle, getting people recognized or highlighted or bringing the attention to them. Why not follow it? Why break the, you know what I mean?
Why not be different?
Yeah.
Why not be?
That's how I follow. Why not be different? Why not be
Why
myself?
not be different? Be yourself.
Stand on my
Instead
morals
of-
and principles.
Yeah. But some people, even like in school, you know, some people need to be part of certain groups and that kind of thing. You find the same thing with young people in school.
Yeah, everybody wants it. As I gain,
Be
not
accepted.
everybody. Yeah, everybody wants to be accepted. Some people, because people don't want to be alone, because it gets, like I said, on the road by themselves, because it gets lonely. You know what I mean? But I'm okay with that. It builds.
Some
character,
people not.
It builds growth. It
Yes.
builds integrity. You know what I mean? Like I'm okay with it. I don't need to be necessarily aligned with something for me to be.
Because everybody's
myself.
doing it.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
why I always stand out.
In other words, having your own mind.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Yeah, I call it thinking for yourself.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now, what you gonna share now? You gonna bring it? What if you want to bring it? Whatever you want to bring,
Okay.
because I want the piece that you did for once.
Okay, I can say that for my last piece.
Okay.
After this,
All
or
right.
whatever maybe.
Okay, no, go ahead. Do this one. We'll say that for last.
This one is the Make Change poem.
Okay.
So it goes something like this. It's an increase in numbers when the season's rougher. Looking at my timeline and saying, not another. Repeated tragedies against black males in urban areas that's considered. The gutter makes me wonder, why are we only united when we under? Nothing good comes from this behavior, we only suffer. How many bodies had to be laid to rest before us to become conscious? It cannot be freedom and full opportunities when your law is presented with less options, exaggerated solutions to problems that leads to false promise. In a nation where enhancing knowledge will make you a target. Does appearance outweigh a qualified resume? Does a test determine what you can display? How many years of cheap labor do we have to give before garnering a deserving pay? Are there any answers to these previous statements? From this day forward, no more exhibitions of submission. Let's take back our position as you rise above those given decisions and not fall victim to this unethical system.
Wow, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just, I know you got a story for that.
Yeah, this everything is always not in our favor. Like I said, we don't have a voice.
How did that come to you? How did that piece come to you? What were you doing? What was the thought that created that piece?
I need to speak on, voice something, or write a piece that highlights or what we're facing every day, what we're encountering every time we step outside our house. Racially profiled, judged,
Come on.
opinionated, just having the odds stacked up against us. And they feel like it's acceptable if it's through social media, if it's through internet, if it's through TV. They don't ever highlight all the good things people are doing, like me, you, or other people that's in the community, in the areas of doing the hard work, doing the labor. And other people are doing shortcuts and they're getting highlighted. You know what I mean? Getting attention and exposure to them, and it's not acceptable, not right. I just wanted to speak on that.
Wow, and you did. Wow, beautiful, brother. Now this piece here is not a political piece, even though I have a whole lot of them, because I write about everything.
Yeah.
But I like to dedicate this piece to the president and the Senate. This is a piece dedicated to President Donald Trump and to the U.S. Senate, and it's simply entitled "Stop Lying." Okay. If you tell one lie, you got to tell two. Then before you know it, lying is second nature to you. When there's no foundation of truth on which to stand, living a lovable lie is like walking on quicksand. And there ain't no way naked truth can ever fly on the wings of a well-dressed lie. A lie told on the truth is not something you can defend, because truth crushed the earth will always come up again. So let the truth be your guide in your lust to tell a lie, and you will find that you can stop it if you try. For if you lie to yourself, you'll lie to any and everybody else. And there ain't no way naked truth can ever fly on the wings of a well-dressed lie. Because if you tell one lie, you got to tell two. Then before you know it, lying is second nature to you. Stop lying.
Yeah, it's habitual. It's a habit.
It's a habit.
One after another.
Yeah, that's why I can dedicate it to them. Of course, I got a million other pieces.
That's why I always try to keep it just genuine.
I got to be real.
Gotta be real. Gotta be me.
Gotta be real.
Raw, uncut. You know what I mean? But all in the positive, healthy way.
So poetry for you. How has your work been received? Like at school, with friends, you do readings. How have they responded?
Reception.
Have you ever done like readings for what do you call it, slams?
Not yet.
Really?
So my journey is just a little different. I've been doing open mics, things at different churches.
People invite you to do
People assembly, things with 1DC, things at my school. I hosted events at my school and performed there. Different things, like various things, but I've been things in front of town hall meetings as well. The Rise Demonstration Center over there in Ward 8.
Oh, okay. You been there?
Yes.
Wow, dropping it.
Yeah, for Stop the Violence panel of 5 individuals, phenomenal individuals. But I had the opportunity from Dr. Cherie Ward. She's another poet, major poet. She's one of my other teachers and mentors as well. She offered me the opportunity to perform there, and I did 2 pieces, and it was a phenomenal.
Oh, I hope they get to see this show as well.
Yes, sir. Yes,
you gotta make sure you show them.
Yeah. And that's the reception, but the feedback has just been phenomenal. It wasn't when I was doing basketball, I was just like, that's the same thing. Rinse, wash, and repeat. What can I do else to thread the needle? And as soon as I did it, I just hit the ground running. Everybody just been, gravitating to it. It's like, it's meant for me to do it. That's what everybody keeps saying. It's meant for you to do it.
Wow. Well, speaking of basketball, who was some of your favorite?
Kobe Bryant.
Wow.
Michael Jordan.
So where were you and what were you thinking when you heard about the tragedy with Kobe Bryant?
Didn't want to believe it.
Yeah, it's very hard.
It's still like, how could this be? You know what I mean? Like,
did you want to write something?
It just made me want to work harder. Just not making no excuses about life, even though I said it, but it just
there's nothing promised.
It just like I looked at Kobe as a pure individual, like straight up and down. Like even though he had certain things, but genuine, just straight up and down.
That's how I perceived it. It's been very genuine. So I just finished the piece on Kobe. It's not out yet, but it'll be out on Monday.
Just phenomenal individual, bigger than basketball. It wasn't just about basketball. Just how
it's about life.
How he carried himself, and that's how I kind of like we was similar. Like how you similar to Kobe, just how you carry certain things, what you engage in, what you value, and what are you not going to fall into. It's like you're your own man. You're gonna be yourself. You're gonna be obsessive, and heavily involved with what you do and love what you do.
But what impressed me so much with Kobe, his skill, but he worked at it, is that he came straight out of high school and went straight to the pros.
Took on the challenge.
So boy, look what he did.
And that's why I always say this, how do you get it, or how can I do what you do? I'm like, it's a part of me showing up, but it's also a part of me building relationships, networking, socializing.
That means a lot. Building relationships.
That's why I'm at certain places and doing what I can, just showing up and wowing the crowd and doing what I can. So that's how I just credited to as well.
Wow.
It's not just hard work, but you got to be obsessed and know what you want and know to have great intentions. Always make sure your intentions are honest and pure.
But in my reading and research for this piece I wrote, I also sensed that there was a certain level of maturity to come straight out of high school and go straight to the pros. I mean, that's kind of what's unheard of when he did that. I mean,
out of his world confidence.
Yeah.
He knew he was ready.
Yes, he knew he was ready.
He knew he was ready.
And he showed the world, I'm ready. Yes.
Transcended NBA and the world.
Yes. Yes, it really did, man. This is phenomenal, really. All right, so would you ready for?
You want me to spit the?
Yeah, let's go and spit it because I don't know how much time I got left.
Okay.
So what's it called, and why did you write this piece? And why did you decide to do this piece at Kwanzaa as opposed to 1,000 other pieces you could have done?
So, I was dressed by Miss Greenhouse. She's a teacher at UDC.
Yes.
So she was like, from Mr. Plord, she was like, she was connected with Mr. Plord at first. She was like, I need somebody to do the spoken word at Union Temple at this event coming up.
Really?
He's like, I have already had the perfect person. He referred her to me. He's like, I need you to write it. This was back in October.
Oh,
and I
really?
wasn't able to write it at that time because school was going on and all this going on.
It was like going on.
So I was like, how am I gonna, I don't know too much about Kwanzaa, so I started asking close family members, neighbors, and everything. So I was like, what am I gonna do? I started doing my research, started looking about the 7 principles, how it was developed, who started it.
Yes.
I was just like, after all my research, I was just like, I gotta just be me.
Yeah.
So I was like, why don't me take the 7 principles or what it represents and put that poetically, creatively, not in order,
incorporate,
but not in order,
not necessarily in order,
and just stated in how we can do better and do more.
How we can use
And
it.
it's entitled Righteousness.
Come on with it.
And go something like that. I had to wash away my bad habits before I could live a life of purity. We live in a world that's infested with self-entitled, opportunistic, selfish, and what you can do for me, foolery. Those LA riots and racial attacks amongst blacks spark ways to take action, to stand together back within our African American communities. We must demonstrate cohesion if we ever want to get back to where we used to be. The underprivileged youth is who I do it for and who I give hope to. Who knows where I would have been if I didn't pick up the pen, started sharing my story, and becoming more vocal. I give less attention to the popularity, likes on social media, currency and capital, those monetary totals, and care more about being the best person I can be, delivering a positive message, impacting others, all while remaining upstanding and noble. We cannot expect our communities or environments to change if there's only a handful of people willing to take the leap and whose vision holds the same. It's not about the stats or analytics, but it is a numbers game. When have you ever seen 2 people get on and take off on a plane? All I'm saying is it requires more hands on deck to achieve a greater game. We can't just stand behind our neighborhoods only in moments of success and not throughout the moments of struggle. These are the ones that were there from the start, that would take the time out to get to know you and love you. He said it takes a village to raise a child, but what they don't say is a village is a reliable support system and a daily alleviator of our troubles. Let me ask you something. What's your desires? What's your motives? Better yet, what's your reason? You get to a point where there's more to life than moments and seasons. Find something that drives you, makes the world a better place, and has a meaning. And stay away from situations that keep you from evolving, cause depression, and that are also demeaning. Don't let any pessimistic forces try to sway your mind. Our culture is expressed through art, music, dance, food, and handcrafted garments, patented with a unique design. These are just a few ways of how we're defined. Black pigment under the sunlight results in a radiant glow. Case in point, we're always meant to shine. Servicing my people with every step and breath I take is my common vow. Conform to anything that isn't aligned with my morals is something I will not allow. What our race is faced with is downright unjustly and truly foul. Happiness is not what they want us to see. They rather us be oppressed, raise the white flag, or throw in the towel. But we are rich. We are strong. We are successful. We have a holiday that's a tribute to our culture and heritage and centered around 7 principles that builds us up to be special. We may not ever see the day that our streets will be in the direction of progress. If we continuously fail to own property and invest, failing to consider the lineage after us, rather rent and lease instead of owning, and they wonder why everything we have gets taken right from under us, which makes us become stressed and end up with less. Hard to believe you want better for urban areas and want the black dollar to circulate and multiply when you willingly give your hard-earned money up for companies that are solely for profit and are commercialized. This week-long ceremony is to unite, inspire, uplift, empower, and educate. It's not to be monetized. We light candles to represent hope, the land, the people, and the struggles of our ancestors that didn't survive. Let me finish this.
Come on with it.
Let me finish this.
Yes, man, that was oof. That's part one, yo.
Let me finish this.
Because I know it's a long part.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh man, I was there with you. I'm there with you, man. Let's pick right up where
Okay.
you
It's our duty to maintain and surround the streets of where we sleep. We must hold each other accountable. Look out for one another. Have our brothers and sisters keep. All while knowing actions will also override verbal statements. Because talk is cheap. Our lifelong friends be the ones who come from where we come from. Experience what we've experienced. That's an unbreakable bond that runs deep. Don't conceal what you have learned. Give information. Give knowledge. Give advice. Give guidance. And let's put an end to being self-absorbed, antisocial, viewing society as the enemy, and moving through life as well. Let's develop leadership programs and become mentors to those that have been mentally scarred, damaged, and went astray. We must connect, teach, listen to, and let them know that their lives matter and should be valued each and every day, and show them how to hustle to earn an honest dollar the legal way. We may come from many different places, all over the world, but we are no different. We are the same. And whatever you're going through, just know you're not alone. We are a team. And your trials are my trials. And your problems then become my problems as we come together and figure out how to resolve the issue. This artistry I exhibit to you all this evening is more than a passion. This is a poetic declaration for future generations. One-on-one empowerment blended with education. I'm not only uplifting hoods in my region, but also giving wisdom to different countries as well as other surrounding nations. There's so many youngins falling victim to temptation and need a love and inspiration. But what I do before you all is not a side hustle, pastime, or occupation. This is my calling and daily obligation. I went from being lackluster, poor and inadequate, to being a narrator of the ghetto and youth advocate, a hard worker that wasn't blessed to be talented, who found his role in this world from undergoing stints of abandonment. This road wasn't ever easy. I overcame the most strenuous challenges, and I still shed tears and awe of how I managed it. But I was still sacrificing risk it all so the ones that come after me could be equal opportunities and advantages. Don't let nothing come in the way of your destined fate. Just know that jealousy and spite is always brewed by hate. Throughout your journey, just make sure you put God first and keep the faith, and understand that success doesn't have a deadline or expectancy date. This is a long-term grind. It is not a race. So no matter how slow, medium, or fast you're going, do whatever that feels comfortable to you. Go at your own pace, show no fear, and look those obstacles dead in their face. And always remind yourself, you were born to be great.
Woo, Lord, have mercy, boy. Thank you, Christian, for coming and sharing. Brothers and sisters, we've been here with the great poet, young person is from UDC, and I am so impressed with him. To do that long poem from memory, that boy's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, to do that from memory. I used to do that when I was your age.
Yeah, real quick, like it was just a lot of sacrifice, and like it was tough for me to. How I was going to compose a piece. I know it's a long, extended piece. I was.
But you did research.
Research nights in my car, rehearsing, nights out at different places, just trying to get it right and make this masterpiece. And I just wanted, like, whatever you're doing, you can do it on a 4 days of writing prep, 4 days of writing prep, and the rest of the week was rehearsing. So that was my schedule. I said I had to do it in a short time. Did 3 days or 4 days on writing, and the rest was a rehearsal.
I'm glad I recorded it too. I gave you a copy of it. Yes, man. I am so glad I recorded that. I was like, wow, this is something. Yeah. You see me walking around with that little thing in my hand?
I was like, who's this guy?
The digital recorder.
Yeah.
That little digital recorder is a master, man. The sound came out good. Yeah, I said to the young person, I gotta get it.
I was not expecting what I was gonna get at Union Temple. I didn't know that packed house and the people that was really receptive to it and loved and enjoyed it.
Let's give a shout out and thanks also to the Kwanzaa committee at Union Temple for inviting you.
Big shout out to them. Thank y'all for having me. Opening y'all doors for me. Welcoming me with open arms and loving what I and receiving and the feedback was phenomenal. I hope to see y'all again and meet along the lines of something else and do something great. I enjoyed y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed me.
Yes, and I want to thank the pastor too, Pastor Nika Wilson Brown, senior pastor.
Yes, sir. Amazing message and speech.
Yes, it was beautiful. Kwanzaa was beautiful, but we got to live Kwanzaa every day.
Yes.
Look, I thank you for coming, man. Our time is just about up. Let me share this short piece. This is Color Me Poetry Part 2, and then we out.
Yes, sir.
Color Me Poetry Part 2. I am the language of love and the key of life. I am a wave of words in times of sorrow and strife, for I am poetry. Color me the native son that can't be set apart from the poetry of the soul that's straight from the heart. Color me poetry. I am fantasy, fiction, and fact. Color me the shadow and the act, for I am poetry. Color me low to high and high to low. I am the dark symphony of the unsung hero. Color me the undercurrent in America's mainstream. I am like a ripple on the pond in the all-American dream. Yet I too sing America. Color me Othello the Moor. I am the soul of black folk, the spook who sat by the door. Color me poetry. I am for my people a portrait of pride. Color me the Negro who speaks of rivers deep down inside, for I am poetry. Let us lift every voice and sing of black and unknown parts of long ago. Color me a song in spite of myself that all the world might know. Color me poetry, for I am poetry. I'm Poet Danny Queen. Thank you for tuning in. And we're looking forward to having you coming back, brother, and sharing with us another day. You got to keep on keeping on.
Yes.
Poet Danny Queen, this is Color Me Poetry. Until next time, color me poetry. I am, I can, and I will. Love, peace, and poetry.